Yo, what you telling me, people, man? Back in the building. What, 3 streams in 4 days? Quick maths. It's very good. But what's also very good is all the people in the building already for my brand new show, The Blueprint, episode 1. So for me, waffling on the screen to random people who don't even know me or who may know me, smash that like button for me and let's get to 3,000 subs as soon as possible. But 2.3 is the nearest sub count. I definitely know we can hit that 100 billion%. We could definitely hit that. A lot of people in here already. So make sure you do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. And this during this stream, I'll actually remember to shout at the likes and subscribe, even for my viewers and my guests, because I don't always do that and I get ghost in the conversation. So Dennis's channel will be below as well. He's joining. Jay's channel will be below as well. And Yasir, who's also joining me down below. It's a very calm stream, going through tactics, the changes we saw on the weekend, and a few big games, and what we think we need to do coming up against excuse me, Karabag, Azerbaijan, and also Wolves at home before the international break next week, I believe that is. So, every single person in the building, a lot of you here already. I thought we had a good time to stream now because other channels go live around 6 o'clock-ish, so now's the perfect time to go live. A lot of you are here already, which is really good to see. Smash those likes. I want to see at least 20 likes. There's 20 people in here already, so smash those likes for me when I get Jay in. I think he's off camera, not feeling well. And Couch, yes, will be joining shortly, and Andrew will also be joining shortly. So,
yo, can you hear me?
Yes, Jay, of course.
Yeah, no, just making sure. I'm moving to a better area because while I got my camera off, it means I can move to a better area if my internet's better. So
that's calm, bro. But yeah, it's due down below, and Couch dropped a sick video as well, so definitely go check that out. No lay there, and subscribe to me. But yeah, man, today very clearly there's a new episode I thought I'd do every Monday called Blueprint. And this is essentially a pun because obviously the Chelsea Blues and also the fact you have the Maresca'S, the tactics on the print on the sheet, and you look at the tactics board and that sort of stuff. So I put it together, put in the name. I think it sounds quite cool. And I got this panel because I believe we can have a good discussion on what we believe we saw in the weekend's game and every game we're going to review on Monday. So, Couch, we definitely saw, let's get straight into it. We definitely saw some changes on the weekend regarding the big 6 games and big fixtures we have where we play Gusto, sometimes put James in midfield. Caicedo can press a bit further up because you have players in behind who are trusted to occupy that space, like Gusto, for example, tucking in, or James, for example. What do you think in the normal games in the Prem? Do you think the system can work overall? We'll talk about the individual parts separately in a minute, but do you think the system can work in other games, or do you think it's just against the big teams and you can counter press them, etc.?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Big up, Jay. Big up, Chaz. By the way, smash up the likes him. But you already know, like Chelsea. I would say that under Maresca are a team that plan for what the opposition are going to do and devise game plans to either snuff it out or stop what they want to do well. And for me, that style of play where we're pressing high up the pitch and we're showing lots of energy, that is down to the opponent. If the opponent isn't playing out from the back and giving us the ability to get into their defense with the first wave of our press, it's going to be very hard to get that sort of like energy that we had on the pitch on the weekend. Like more often than not, you see teams, they're looking to bypass that first wave and just getting into the second wave. You saw Tottenham actually having to resort to that because they couldn't get anything. They couldn't get a foothold in the match by trying to play out from the back in their first phase. So you saw Vicario trying to go long to Moani, stretch out passes to, Xavi Simons. And in both instances, Chelsea were just dominant. Like we were able to just recycle the possession whenever they went long. Now, if we're looking forward to how Chelsea can utilize this similar setup, I think it really just comes down to setting the press triggers, identifying members within a certain squad that are not adept at handling pressure when put under pressure, turn over the ball. And, it's easier said than done. Let's be real. Some of these teams would just much rather just play on the counter, play really deep, compact, and just look to get on the counter. And when we see those games, similar to the one we saw against almost every team that plays against us changes the way they want to play with a back five when they normally don't, in order to stop Chelsea from playing. And it's worked. Let's just be real, it's worked. But it's harder for Maresca to say, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. This is what they do. Here's what we are going to do in order to mitigate what they do well. When every time we encounter a team, they're changing exactly how they want to play because they're worried about what we can do to them. So I don't know. It's hard.
It's very hard. I get what you're saying in terms of a lot of teams do change where they play, but I feel like with Chelsea changed a lot as well. And as much as I like the idea that our team can change depending on position, because we have a lot of versatile players, a lot of quality players who can do different roles. Like Enzo Fernandez, for example, he can play in the 10, he could play in the first phase and also plays in 8. I don't know how much I like it when week to week it changes a bit too much. I know what you think, chat, as well, whether you think I'm right or what Couch is saying is spot on in terms of what happens, but I don't know if I like the idea that every single week it's very, very different. And I don't think the team does either. And it doesn't help when the team is quite young and impressionable and there's a lot of pressure in general. And then 1 week you're changing it to this, another week you change this. I understand why he's doing it. And of course I understand. But when it doesn't work and your team is losing confidence and then beating a big 6 team and then they'll giddy again, I don't like that. I don't know how
what's the answer, though? What's the answer to that?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the solution to that would be in terms of this issue. We could talk about which are going to individual parts we would do, but overall, I don't know how I don't know what you think, chat. Be it Yasir just joined as well. Be it yourself, brother. Channel down below for Yasir. First time on the channel as well. Javon will be here tomorrow as well, hopefully as well. So be it the people them as well. And remember, guys, the link down below for Jamaican humanitarian aid is actually official link. But make sure when you copy and paste the link is official and that it's not the dupe. But I did make sure it was correct. Support people them as well. I also need to put a Sudan link as well for that as well. So make sure you man are supporting the causes out there. But yeah, Couch, I don't know how to feel about that, man. I don't know. And obviously, is that good or not? We have to find out. But I don't know how I feel about it. Every single week, different lineup, different tactics.
I think for me,
go on, I don't know. I mean, Couch,
I think the issue is, like you look at some teams, right? And I think this comes down to a lack of maybe senior or experienced players. You look at some teams, for instance, Man United, they've got a Casemiro in their team who's 34, 35. He's not going to play many games for them. Whereas for us, we've got so many young players that are hungry to play. Whereas if they're sitting on the bench for prolonged periods of time, they're going to go into the meeting with Maresca and say, why aren't I getting any minutes? I think I kind of feel for Maresca on that point. And I do understand why he rotates the team so much, because we're playing 2 games a week at the moment, especially with Champions League. And we have got some players that struggle with fitness, such as the Jameses, the Fofanas, the Lavias. So I kind of get it. At the same time, I feel like when you're playing a different back four every week, a different maybe from front line every week, I guess that can kind of hinder you, especially the back four, because sometimes many times this season we've looked at the back four and we thought these all look like they've never played together before in their life. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe when this squad starts to grow together, maybe it won't become as much of an issue. But for now, I guess we kind of just have to run with it, because it's clear that the directors and the owners, they aren't going to change their model on who they sign. They're not signing anyone above the age of 24. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's not an issue for me too much. Be everyone in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm not saying it's an issue right now. I'm just saying the reason why. Because no one in the team is at the point where they can't play, apart from the injury prone ones. We haven't got any older players that haven't got the legs anymore. If that makes sense.
Yes, here.
Yeah.
Be up for joining, man. Everyone in the comments, get involved as well. If you disagree or agree with me, Couch, Yasir, Jay, just put your comments in. I'll read out really good ones. Super chatting as well, and definitely get Yasir to 1K. And then to 1K as well. And be up Dubes as well. He's trying to grow his channel. But yeah. We're having calm conversations here. I don't always do this, but I thought I'd do a new episode blueprint, get the same panel if I can. Bit more composed conversation on how you feel about the tactics in terms of me and Couch was just saying before, and Jay just got involved just there, that I don't like the fact to change this week to week. I don't know whether that contributes to us being inconsistent or not. But Yasir, how do you feel that 1 week it'd be like Spurs, and for basically 90 minutes, whether they were good or not is irrelevant. we faced Sunderland team who are better, worse on paper than Spurs. And we
Yeah.
beat Spurs away, right? So I
Yeah.
don't want to hear the argument of Sunderland in a second. It's the logic. But 1 week could be that way, and next week we'll show against Wolves. How?
I think you can say it is a mentality problem because sometimes I feel like that not just the players but the manager also sometimes you feel like underestimates, or we have this what's that word for it again, man? It's like we go there thinking, oh, we might just beat Sunderland, it's just Sunderland, and then you turn up and then you realize, okay,
Overconfidence.
yeah, and you have this thing as well. If you realize, I'm one of them people that says start your strongest team and then take the players off in second half if you kill the game off. Do you get it? That I'm not one of those. You know what? Yeah, let's play Garnacho and Neto, for example, and then if he's not working, let's start running to the bench. I feel like that's for me. That's always, I feel like that's the wrong approach, innit? Seeing if you're still in it at that point, but I do think, like, if I really think about it, I don't necessarily have an issue with like the tactics. I think my thing's always been the quality in personnel. So we know that you can't necessarily have an issue in your spine and you can get away with it, especially not in the Premier League. I think last season we learned that if you don't have a good or prolific striker, you can lose games or draw games. Yeah, even if the tactics are right, it doesn't work. You get it? If your goalkeeper's not that good, and they make a mistake, it loses you. If your midfield's not that good, it gets ran through. So if your centre backs are not that good, all these things, especially in your spine, you can't necessarily get away with that. You can get away with probably not having a proper right back, like a Liverpool, and putting Szoboszlai right back. You can get away with that in certain games. Do you get it? But you can't get away with having issues in your spine. I think a lot of times, I think that especially with the partnership that we currently have, that we had for the last couple of weeks with the Tosin and Chalaba, I just don't think that they complement each other well. They all have their own mistakes or weaknesses, and it just doesn't work together. I think even the other day you saw that having Fofana back is kind of brought a bit more better defensive.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Yeah, so it's a bit
So
of that.
you think that if the personnel was ready and ready to go, it would kind of mask over the tactical the tactical changes we have a lot. Could we just do better?
You know that the manager is the type of manager that's gonna adapt to each game. We already kind of know that, and with those kind of managers, you know that, like, we knew that depending on how we think Spurs are gonna play, that's what the lineup's gonna be. Do you get it? And I feel like especially in the big games, he plays the lineup we saw the other day, where you see either Lavia and Caicedo, or he's gonna put a Reece James there, and then he will just put Gusto on the right. Like, we know that, and so people might thought, oh, we all want to see one of our favorite players start, but sometimes he wants to go with the known or the proven thing, and then sees whether he can change it up or something in the game.
Yeah, there's why people were shocked that Gittins and Thing didn't start. I was like, what'd you expect? He wasn't gonna change it against Spurs away.
Yeah, and the other thing to that too, you know what I find funny about that too, is just the problem we have with our wingers is the thing that we have with our center backs. Like, nobody's really stepped up and owned that position and made it their own. You know, like when you look at the likes of our wingers, whether it be, Neto, Gittins, Garnacho, lesser extent, Esteval, who I think is really young and you don't want to throw him in at the deep end. We don't have anybody in those positions that have actually owned that position. I think Neto gets in all the time just because he at least shows that he understands what the manager wants from him, out of possession, and works hard. Like, he's never found out of position. He's always where you need him to be. So I think that he solidifies his position in the big games just because of that reason, not because of the DNA and all that other stuff. It's because out of possession, the guy is just working his ass off all the time. But when you look at the other people in those roles, nobody's really laid, the opportunities they've been given to show their quality and like show that this is their position. They haven't really snatched it and been like, yo, this is mine. You're not getting this back. So I don't really, as much as I don't want to see that much rotation, especially the center back position. I'd rather not see that. There hasn't really been anybody that stepped up and owned it either, you know. So
Yes, we can't
what can the
blame him.
manager really do?
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
also, people might disagree with this. I don't mind what Maresca'S doing in terms of Willian Esteval, because what happens is, let's say he was starting every week, every game in the Premier League on the right wing, and then we were struggling in them games. Immediately, the Chelsea fan base look at him and go, "Oh, you're the creative one here. You need to do something." And all of a sudden, that puts so much pressure on the 18, 19-year-old
Exactly.
kid. And it's like he doesn't need that. He didn't come here. Yes, like there's a lot of expectation because of like what we saw him do at Palmeiras. But at the same time, we knew he's going to take time to like properly settle into the squad. And yes, he's had a brilliant start so far. But at the same time, I don't think it's right for the Chelsea fan base to expect like an awful amount from him right now. So I kind of get what Maresca's doing with that sense. I still think he could start the odd Premier League game, but still I think him just like maybe bringing him on as like a super sub. Maresca's made it clear that's what he sees him for now in the Premier League, and then he starts maybe the Champions League games. I think the other wingers as well. I think Garnacho just hasn't looked that effective, if we're being honest. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't looked like that impactful. He's looked a bit average. Neto, as Couch said, like he understands the role, he works hard. We just need to see more output from him in terms of G&A. I think that's the issue. Because if all of a sudden, if he's putting in these performances, but he's getting goals and assists, all of a sudden Chelsea fans will be going, "Oh, he's been playing brilliantly." But because he's not scoring enough, or he's not assisting enough. It's
Well, it's Neto.
Yeah, Neto. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's a key component of our team because he does a lot of the dog work people don't see. He has a lot of instructions he has to follow, and he's very, very good at it. Like, I like him. He's a very good Premier League player. He's helped us a lot.
He's a good
I'm
player.
not going to hate on the guy.
I was happy
Obviously,
when we signed him.
huh?
And I was saying I was gassed when we signed him, and I'm
Yeah,
still
like,
not. I'm still
he's a
not-
very
yeah,
good
I'm still
signing. Like,
happy that he's part of
notice
us.
how with Neto, you don't really hear a lot of rivals, especially because they're the barometer in terms of like rivals will pick on things that are more obvious. It's like a Wirtz no GA or a Palmer no GA. But the players that won't go in on the players that actually think have value. Neto has value without the GA. You don't really hear a lot of people go, even Chelsea fans, "Oh, Neto has no GA." You don't really talk about it because he does a lot on the eyes and off the ball. That is like, you know what, it makes sense. Obviously, it's a bit annoying when he is a facilitator, but it's annoying when he's in position to score an assist and he makes a poor pass. That's another two presentation. That's just you being.
Do you think putting him on the left sometimes works? Because I think Maresca done it against Forest. I think I don't think he was good in the first half. Moved him to the second half, and I think just Achimpong, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for the cross, and then he got another, I think, 2 assists or the goal was all for the free kick. So you see with me, like I think that we also have this thing with, like I said earlier, about the managers that adapt depending on the opposition. Even if a player has played well, sometimes he may not play the next game because the manager doesn't think that he can do the role that he needs him to do. Does that make sense? In that specific game. So sometimes you hear these things like, "Oh, he's thrown the player under the bus. He should have played him the next game," and da. Sometimes the manager might think, you know what, I think this guy's like a Neto, might give me that role on the right, whatever, and then he doesn't play him, and he comes off the bench. But Esteval, we've seen, he either gets like 60 minutes if he starts, or he comes on like 75 minutes or something like that. Do you get it? And he comes on as a super sub. So I think I've not got no issues. Gittins, people that actually know about Gittins know that he hasn't played football, I think, since January, because the manager at Dortmund didn't play him. He wanted him to play. He didn't want to play him when he started playing a wing back. I think they brought in a new manager, and he didn't play for a while. That's what I remember hearing at the time. So he didn't really play till we bought him. Do you get it? So I think it's partly also bringing him to match fitness, and on top of that, it's
100%. Like,
do you get it? So what we saw from him in the beginning. Like, he didn't even play in the Club World Cup, even though he went to Dortmund. So it was one of those. Remember, he went to the Club World Cup. They registered him because we never bought him. He didn't even play there.
If it was you, Coucher, obviously I've heard a lot of debates about why is like Yassir said, why is he not playing? Why is not starting Gittins? Because he's a bit more risk seeking and he has a bit more than Garnacho. But Garnacho's used to the Premier League. He knows the system quite well. I don't know how already, but he just does. Would you risk it? Would you risk it this weekend, for example, in a Wolves game where it is must win in terms of momentum. You can't not win that game and have any sort of respect in your name as a Chelsea player, fan, or as a outside looking in. Or would you be like, continue to do the same thing? Has he done enough for you to start, for example?
Has who done enough? Gittins?
Gittins, yeah.
No, but like this just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like I don't think that any of these guys have done enough to start. Like I think Gittins looked good against Wolves, and then you're hoping for him to come into the game against the Spurs, come in and get those like 20 minutes, and he just struggled to get his footing again. Like he looked like the same guy that we saw at the beginning of the year, right? Just inconsistent, right? And maybe you want to use the Wolves game as one to say that something to build on, because he did play well in that game. You give him another start there at the weekend and hope that he can just kick on again. But again, what we're talking about is not about the level or the manager's use of these players. It's the consistency of the performance that you're getting from these guys. Like one week they look great, the next week they look the week after that, it's just it's a crapshoot trying to figure out who can play week after week. We haven't really settled down what the settled 11 is, because again, our center backs are a bit of a guessing game, and our wingers, none of them are stepping up and saying like, this is my position. I'm owning this, right? So it's a mixed match. You're mixing up. You're putting together this guy here, this guy there. Garnacho, most frustrating player of the four, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, was it more? It has to be more than just G&A for Maresca. He's clearly looking at more than just G&A. He's looking at what you can give out of possession as well.
But do you feel like the Chelsea players have fully adapted to his system? Do you feel like when he does change things up, you see, they will get it? Or do you feel like the quality players has been quality players because they're quality players?
No, I think that Neto is the only one that has really garnered position in that wing position. I don't think that of course Esteval is good on the eye, and he's a guy that, like, if you're looking for a traditional winger, he's probably got the best skill set in terms of dribbling, taking on his man, and being an offensive threat. But there's other aspects of the game that the manager's asking these guys to do. He's asking them to be, switched on in transition. He's asking them to be physical. He's asking them to press relentlessly. And I just haven't seen that from Esteval yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but when I see him come on, I don't see that same sort of like energy and verve that you see from the likes of Neto. And in the big games, you're not going to throw an 18-year-old to the wolves like that, lack of a better term. Like, you want to see guys that have been through the wars as best they can, who have given you those performances, a multitude of opportunities. It's about trust, right? And until you get that trust of the manager, you're probably just going to have to continue to get these like bit starts here and there and hope that, over time you earn his trust. But right now it's a crapshoot for me.
Yeah.
Jay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to go around and ask tough questions, man. Do you feel like, as well, piggybacking off what Couch said, do you feel like he should base his system off one of our best players, Caicedo or Palmer, when he's back? Or do you feel like he should just mix and match depending on position? Do you think we should start going, like, utilising what we're good at and just going with that? Or, for example, Arteta, for example, he just goes with his system no matter what. So Eze's coming to that team. You don't see Eze driving the ball like he did at Palace. You don't see Gyökeres get as much space because they don't play like the same way as Sporting, for example. So do you feel like we should just have one set system and change it depending on who we play? Or, like, play around Caicedo and Palmer's and do it that way, like PSG did, for example, utilising like the quality strengths they have? What do you think?
I think for me, I don't know. I think a bit of balance, because players like Palmer and Caicedo are like so crucial, just to not just the system, but just to like the team in general. Where I feel like you obviously have to have them in there. But at the same time, as we spoke about briefly before, like, if you keep constantly changing the system and the tactics, then the other players aren't really going to get used to a certain system, and then that's what causes the inconsistency. I think right now, if we focus on like right now, while we haven't got the Cole Palmer, for instance, I don't know about if you guys feel the same, but Enzo Fernandez, I've been thinking this for a while, but I think he does actually better in that more advanced midfield role, even borderline number 10 role. because you don't have to rely on him defensively. It means we have another midfielder there in either it could be Lavia or maybe Reece James, and he can press from the front, and then he can get into the box in more like goal scoring or like creating chances.
You know what, Jay? Let's talk about Enzo for a little bit yesterday, yeah?
Yeah.
Good segment there. 'Cause I had a question on Enzo I wrote down. Do you think, because obviously I asked a question to Jay about basing one player for the system, etc. Do you feel like Enzo is being restricted and holding us back because we need to play him because he offers something in terms of going forward and off the ball he's good, but is he good enough on those roles to even play?
I think
So do you feel like Enzo Fernandez is kind of like a weird situation where he's useful, but he's useless because he's not actually being optimized in his best position, but he's good, has good attributes?
I don't know. It's just like I think he doesn't do like horrendously alongside Caicedo in the double pivot, but I just think you get so much more out of him when he's further up the pitch because defensively he's nowhere near as good as Caicedo. He hasn't got the legs of Caicedo. He can get on the ball, he can create, he can spring passes, but like Caicedo can't do it on his own. And I think having Lavia in the team is such a benefit to us. I think having a 3-man midfield, we do so much better. But then that brings the problem of like we lose an attacker because then it means we play Cole Palmer on the right or and then where does Esteval fit in? Or like so then it kind of brings that kind of but if Enzo was to hold bench and we were getting results, I don't have a problem with that. End of the day, I care about Chelsea Football Club. I want us to get results. I don't have a thing about a player. Same if Cole Palmer's on the bench and we were still getting results, it wouldn't bother me. But that's probably not going to happen. Yeah,
that's it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think the Enzo Fernandez one's a weird one because for me, I do see the whole he can play him a bit further forward, and then he is or was contributing and stuff like that. I heard that. Maybe I like him a bit more in the deep line playmaker role, but then I also hear the whole you can rather play Lavia in there and stuff like that. But then you also think of one of the reasons he's also playing as much is because Lavia needs to be brought in slowly and all that kind of stuff. So we know we're not going to see him as much, which means Fernandez is one of the experienced ones and whatever he's going to play. So obviously, I think one of our main things is that Enzo hasn't been playing well in terms of his form. So we didn't necessarily get the Enzo we got last season. But I think he does have good enough qualities to contribute, whether it's further forward or in midfield. Like I don't know. I don't think his defensive things are like his defensive attributes are that bad. I just think because he showed that he was quite good, let's say in the Tottenham game, that even when he was being pressed, he still managed to either get the ball moving, whether it was a switch to the other side of the pitch or whether he kept the ball moving and not lose it. Because sometimes he gets caught on the ball with his back against the player, and then all of a sudden he falls over or stuff like that. So I do understand that. I also think that when it comes to the whole maybe then you have to play Palmer on the right, I do think certain games you have to play Palmer on the right and not in the 10. And I spoke about this before in terms of the whole Premier League and where the whole thing's going with the 10s. Like sometimes you play it. We had this last season. You play Palmer in the 10, and we don't necessarily go through the middle with the passes, so he doesn't always get the ball in the middle. So we keep going out wide, and sometimes he doesn't get the ball as much.
Yeah.
So you get him on the right, he's much more involved, and then you get him going into traffic, so that he doesn't always get the ball in traffic. Do you get just in midfield on the half turn? There's 2 players on him straight away and stuff like that. So sometimes that might work better. I think it just depends on the game. Do you know what I mean? Some games he has a bit more space. We do whatever we do. He has a bit of time on the ball, but it's just this is why I see some players. Or we heard the same thing about Wirtz. Would you rather just push him on the left wing? That's what's going on really with the 10s in the Premier League. So yeah, basing it on one player though, I think then you kind of sometimes if the player doesn't perform and you don't necessarily get the best out of the player, then sometimes it doesn't always work out for the rest of the team. Yeah, so if you base your whole thing around one player, if he doesn't perform, then it looks like it's just flat. But if that's the way, I just think
The reason why I ask that is because like I do see our team like when we perform like the other day, and the system is all good. I'll get Angie involved in seconds when he's ready. When the system is good and the individuals shine, I like to see that because it means the system is working and it gives the platform for players like Caicedo, Palmer, Cole when he's back to do their passes, or whatever they need to do individually in their own skill sets. and the positions. But then when we perform like Wolves and it's the opposite, then it's like, why don't you just keep one system and just let that work? And if it doesn't work, then you can change it up. And then you can adapt according to the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like trying to have it all my own way, have my cake and eat it in that way, and have it all my best way. But it is frustrating when I watch games and the same individuals can't shine. And yes, they can have bad games, but that Wolves game, Sunderland game, for example, a lot of players didn't perform good, which means the system. And that's not good enough when you're a team trying to improve from last season, let alone title challenge. Like we can't like gloss over that and accept it, because that's what becomes normal. And then we accept we're fourth in the league, which we shouldn't be. We should be definitely fighting for top 3 too. Because I don't look at the rest of the league, despite what Liverpool, the shenanigans happen with them. Football doesn't work linear. It doesn't go like that and then like that with any team. So why are people? Why we should be upset that we are? We shouldn't just be like, oh, yeah, but no, like, bro, stop thinking about Chelsea last year. It's a new year.
But you know the thing is, Chet, like honestly, I really think that sometimes we just gotta look at the context of things. I know nobody wants to use injuries as an excuse, but for a team like Chelsea, losing the likes of Colwell, losing the likes of Lavia, losing the likes of Cole Palmer, losing the likes of Delap, those are big pieces to not have on your side at the beginning of the year. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care about what people, you spent $2 billion. You shouldn't. We didn't spend $2 billion on the squad. We spent $2 billion on assets. Some are being loaned out. Some are, whatever, right? So for me, it's more than that. Like, we can't look at this in a vacuum and just be like, Chelsea spent this, and this is why they should be way better. Another big miss, exactly. That's Caicedo's. Right there is Caicedo's, relief right there. I didn't even call him. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that we can't ignore. Like, don't let the rivals tell you that injuries aren't an excuse when it clearly is. You can't replace those guys. You just cannot replace those guys. And when you don't have them in the side, the quality falls down. Like, we're asking Tosin, we're asking a young Achapong, we're asking Chalaba to fill in these positions, when Colwell's out, when Fofana's out, and their quality is not such that they should be playing week in, week out. You want them to come in maybe once a week, once every month or something like that, give you a spell, a little spell, and then it's done. But we're asking these guys to play week in, week out, week in, week out. And, their quality is tied to their consistency. Like, consistency and quality to me go hand in hand. Like, you can't be a quality player unless you can play consistently good all the time.
With the centre-back thing, though, it's like, why did Levi Colwell went down on the 7th of August? Why didn't they sign another one then?
See, we do this every week, bro.
No, Jay, we can't discuss. We all agree with that. We don't need to argue.
Yeah, but my point is, like, stuff like that, you can't necessarily go, oh, he's injured, when you had a chance to fix it and you didn't. That's where it's like you can't.
You know what, Jay? I speak on this way too much, and it's.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's why I can't necessarily. Sugo, fair enough. Like, Delap, fair enough. I'm saying, like, with the centre back thing, the directors on the board, they had a chance. It was the 7th of August. They had almost a month to sort that out, and they did nothing. We've seen Nketiah sit on the bench for Arsenal for how long? And he's won a league by Leverkusen. Why didn't we sign him?
Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. This is the last time I'm going to do it. I promise. It's the last time I'm going to do it. Sell to buy. You have to sell to buy. Yeah. The players that you sell have to be ones that are registered by UEFA. So the players that played in the UEFA Conference League last year are the ones that we have to sell in order to buy players to fit into the roster this season. Those players have to be sold at a profit. So when we're bringing in a center back, that center back has to be of lesser value than the one we just sold. So when you're talking about, we should have just sold this guy, we should have just sold these guys and bring these guys in. If they're not registered in UEFA, first of all, you're not going to be able to get them into the Champions League side, for instance. And then what players are available? Like, when people are talking about Guehi and stuff like that, Guehi's not coming for no 30 million. There's no center back that we're going to be able to get that would elevate our floor for less than like 60, 70, 80 million, to be honest. Let's just be
How
real.
much?
And then
How
on
much?
top of that, just let me finish with this.
Go.
Like, I really think that when you're talking about like, okay, well, you know, we have these guys injured. They could have replaced Colwell. You know, yeah, but we also have a bunch of players in the side right now that aren't going to be injured forever. What do you do when they come back? What are you going to do when Badiashile comes back? What happens to him? What happens when Fofana comes back? What happens when Colwell comes back? You know, you have a whole glut of players that you need to clear out before you can start addressing bringing in new pieces. It wasn't an emergency signing that time. You weren't going to be able to do an emergency signing to bring in a quality center back that's going to elevate our floor. That's how I see it.
Okay, I mean, I won't say anything. I won't say anything more on this after this. You say about who we can get. How much did my man go to Arsenal for?
It's a loan.
He's a loan on
No,
an option to buy.
Hincapie. Yeah, Hincapie. How much did he go for?
It's a
Option
loan.
to buy.
It's free,
Loan.
it's free. It's free.
Okay, so how do you
Oh,
get
yeah.
him into the side though?
Free.
Was it a loan?
He's a
How do
loan
you
option.
register him?
Yeah, it was a loan. It was a loan. It was a loan. It's free.
Oh,
How do you register him? What are you registering him for? Just for the cups? Just for like a Carabao Cup?
The issue is, man, why are we looking so? You guys already know the answer. We all agree. We shouldn't argue this point. It's just pointless. The point isn't about last season, last summer, Jay, or then. It's before that. It's why we signed Toss in the first place. Why? Like, we're just gonna be
It was
doing this.
free.
Is what it is, isn't it? We shouldn't have bought the Sassy in hindsight, or maybe Tossing is fine. He's a squad player. Like, I'm not gonna be annoyed about that. But these other guys like Badiashile, injury prone. In hindsight, probably should have got somebody else. We could be all day.
I know. I
End of the
only brought out the point just because in return for like.
No, I get it. But
Yeah, but I
Den's
want
point
to-
is basically a lot of rivals, like if you're on shows and stuff, they go, Chelsea should have bought a centre back, man, and a goalkeeper. And it's like, yeah, I get it. If we have a baseless conversation, and the answer is yes, obviously. But if you add the context, which is more boring, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't we scout the Qua that Palace did?
Yeah, you know what? We should just want to get one of the best centre backs in the
That's
world.
a different conversation because that's before last summer.
Yeah, we got. That's what I'm saying. Before last
That's what
summer,
I'm saying.
It's a different
We
conversation.
can have that conversation where we go, how are these guys? We're supposed to have the best scouts.
Yeah, that's different.
around.
Exactly, that's different. Yeah.
And he didn't cost a bundle. What did he cost? Like £13 million or something like that. And that's sort of the deal that you'd expect us to make with the price and everything and the age.
Exactly. That's the problem.
That's
It's not.
the profile right there. Whereas right now,
And that's
if you
what
go
we
to
got. This fellow's guy from Liverpool.
If you go to Palace right
Yeah.
now, they'll probably ask for 50 million on top of what they paid for him, like 63 or something. Do you know what I mean? They'll probably ask for that.
Exactly.
That's
the
the problem.
conversation.
That's the over. I understand Jay's frustrations. I am as well, and I know Couch has brilliantly explained it, and obviously like that. But that's my frustration. Is something like that, where it was before. It's like, why aren't we? How come these other clubs are scouting? We're supposed to have the best of the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In terms of
Yeah.
scouting, how come they've got these players, but we haven't? That's where answers need to happen.
Yeah, I disagree with this, by the way. This isn't true. We wouldn't be annoyed about
I
signings
wouldn't.
that turn out to be good. Why would we?
I
be
think
annoyed?
at first they'd be annoyed because no one's heard of him. They'd be, but then when they see him, how quality he is when he come through, then they would.
No, but
if we
the
signed
reason
him
why I
now,
disagree with this is
if we signed
because
him now, they wouldn't complain. If they signed him now.
the reason why I disagree with this is because we haven't signed one young player who's become good, even at the time when they wasn't, and people are upset. The only thing they'll be annoyed about is that he's not a experienced
Big
centre
name.
back.
Big name.
Yeah, or big
Yeah,
name.
yeah, that's the
Like,
thing.
people
But I
say they'd
think
be
now-
annoyed. People wouldn't cry about it. They'd be like, "Oh, why didn't we get experience?" But if you, like Hoyson, by the way, to disagree with Den a little bit, Hoyson was a player Chelsea were willing to buy despite the situation. But
Yeah.
then again, ironically, he does fit into the mold. Probably Couch said where he probably fits into the criteria to get him. But he was
Yeah,
the
and I think that
anomaly
deal
where-
was. I think that deal was
Yeah.
trying to be agreed before the UEFA thing decision came down.
exactly. I think it was
Exactly.
early.
So
Exactly. Thank you,
that
Andrew.
Probably, if we signed him, that we could have argued that wouldn't have counted towards that because that was before the decision came down. So we could easily
Exactly.
justify that going through. That, like I said a few minutes ago, the conversation you should be having is about why these other clubs are scouting these players for that price, but we haven't. That's the reason. That's the reason we should be, and we're signing the likes of Disassi, even tossing on a free. You know what I mean? I can understand tossing on a free. It's a free, so he's not going to cost anything. Just a little minimal signing on fee and minimal wage when it comes to a defender like that. But your main question, Jez, about formations and stuff like that. Let's face it, one of their coaches are stubborn and will stick to the formulaic, fourth, whatever it is. But they'll sometimes only change it if things are going wrong, like we've seen with Maresca. He sticks to his normal formation, and if it's going wrong sometimes, he'll try and change it, like away at Forest, like away at Brentford, so to speak. Or maybe he'll change in-game tactics, like at Spurs, when instead of having everyone back in to defend the throw-in, he put 3 players up front, which made Spurs drop 3 other players back. So
I saw that.
You know,
That made me
had
laugh.
to do that.
I was
So
doing
we
the
had
watch along and I just saw the
Yeah.
players running. I was
Exactly,
like,
I was like, what's going on? But that's brilliant. That's smart. But when Enzo Fernandez, see, I think Enzo Fernandez, I think you're right. I think he can do both sides, because we know, I think he's underrated. His defensive side it's not the best, but it's underrated as well in terms of the work rate he does. He covers a lot of ground and stuff like that. But I agree, the best of him would probably be in a 4-3-3 type, or 2 sitting midfielders behind him. He presses up. He probably work well in a little like triangle or little 3 with like João Pedro and Cole Palmer and Delap, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? And you have like a Caicedo Lavia sitting pair like that. You probably see the best out of him. Or even if you had a winger, then you had a Net on the left, Palmer on the right, Enzo in the middle with Delap or João Pedro up front. I think he works like that as well, because he could be the box crasher and stuff like that, like we did last season. So
yeah, Enzo's a weird one, because
he
like,
is a weird one. He's a very good player.
Arguably, when Palmer's fit, people probably wouldn't want him to start.
Well, no, I think the issue is whether people want him to start. I think he'll start more times than most under Maresca.
I'm asking the question. Yeah, say for example, Palmer's fit. I don't know. It's really tough. It's a good problem to have, but if Palmer's fit, bro, I don't know if he plays. And I hate saying that, because when I heard people say it last year, I was like, what? He gets in the team. But now I'm thinking, like, if our team, like Carl said it perfectly, we have literally 5 starters who should be playing. If we had those 5 starters, despite how rubbish our system was versus Sunderland, all these other teams we drew to, like Brentford, for example, I reckon we'd have a few more wins. It works for everybody, for any rivals, isn't it? It works for every other team.
Yeah.
Same for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Lavia, for me, is so cold when he plays, because he does offer us the opportunity to play Caicedo higher up, which is very, very good. Very, very, very good. And then you can have Palmer in the space that Caicedo's pressing, and you can link up with the wingers. And I feel like Palmer has more freedom, because you've got Lavia, who can also do a tenacious side and hold the ball very well. Because Caicedo can do both as well. And you've got Palmer in there just doing his thing. So do you think
in an ideal... I think in an ideal world, with injuries not permitting and choices to be made that he'd want to change, I think he'd want, like, I think the starters that he would always have would be Reece James, Cucurella, Colwell, Caicedo and Lavia, Palmer, and then a mixed match.
Fofana for sure. Fofana as the right side.
Fofana. Yeah. And maybe he does I know what they say, but he does really like Neto. He does play him an awful lot. Do you know what I mean? So I think Neto would be in there as well. And then, like, I think, say even with Enzo, I think everyone goes, oh, he's forced to play Enzo. He does play Enzo a lot, man. Do you know what I mean? In different positions as well. So I think you're looking at 8 to 9 people he'd have regularly there. And then you swap out another winger.
Hey, listen, we could see it this month, because we've got.
Yeah, you can swap out another. The only thing that really is a question mark is that left-hand side, is the who plays there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you really think about it, that's the biggest headache.
If you think we had rotation, if we have a lot of rotation now, we're gonna have so much more rotation with all the players coming back.
Good.
We need that.
Players don't mind sitting on the bench if they know that the team that's out there is there for a reason, and obviously because they will get the result, and then obviously you come in and do your job when you get called upon. So if you know that, okay, Palmer has to play, if Enzo knows he can come off the bench and marshal the rest of the game, kind of thing, you get it, he gets the armband or whatever it is, and he finishes the rest of the game, then he knows that that's part of the plan. Then that's fine. I think it's when you get dropped when there's players playing worse than you and that kind of thing, or you're not playing when you think you should be playing. That's the one where usually players kind of get annoyed and they're like, you know what? Well, why am I not playing? Why is he playing?
But let's say if you think in January, right, guys? If you think in January, just think about this. So your normal Premier League fixtures, right?
Yeah.
If we progress further, you've got one or two. I don't know if it's both legs or one leg of the semi-final of the League Cup, right?
Yeah.
You got FA Cup starting, possibly 1 or 2 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe 1, and then you've got the final 2 games of the Champions League group stages.
Yeah.
In there as well. So you can. That's why everyone should be begging. Everyone should be begging for rotation. For our squad to be fully.
Fingers crossed. I think the only people out now, other than Cole, because he's out for basically.
Do we lose anyone for African nations?
No.
No. Okay. So
the only player who went before was Nicholas. That was it.
No,
but, so essentially, for our busiest period, which basically starts in 2-3 weeks, we'll have basically everyone back.
Basically, after this
international break.
This international break, when the season really kicks in.
I think this international break is 2 weeks. So
after this weekend, it's 2 weeks. We're back on the 22nd again. No, 22nd against Burnley.
Against Burnley, yeah. So basically, essentially, we should have, because Asugo should be hearing news articles within the next 2-3 weeks.
He won't be back to the new year. He won't be back to the new year.
Asugo won't be back. He said 12. When was it they went down? It was 12 weeks.
He said 3 months, 3 or 4 months, didn't he?
They said 12 weeks. They said 12.
There hasn't been any real updates on him, though.
It was quoted 12 weeks. So that's
he had surgery on his thigh or something.
I swear they said the same time as Palmer.
But they had Palmer's rumored to be back around the Barcelona.
That wasn't that, but that may have been Badia's shield.
It was quoted when Asugo got injured. It was quoted he'd be out for 12 weeks, which is basically 3 months.
Badia's shield's not back.
When did he get injured? What, middle of September?
It was when someone else got injured at the same time. It might.
So it was beginning of September.
Yeah, it's like very early.
So he's saying 3 weeks, 4 weeks is accurate then, no?
No.
We'll see. I haven't heard any updates about it.
Anyway, that's not really the point. The point is that we should get our first team. We should have our first team squad back. Hopefully for the running, which Andrew's talking about.
Hopefully we have it for Barca.
And like I always have PTSD. You guys know innit? I get a bit nervous. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what makes me nervous is obviously I celebrate Christmas and I sit there Boxing Day, and I haven't seen us put a good performance in Boxing Day in a long time.
It's all right. We're not playing Boxing Day this year.
Okay, we're not playing Boxing Day. You're right.
We're not playing. It's only one game of Boxing Day.
That period of time, I get mad PTSD.
Enjoy your Boxing Day, man. It's only Man United Newcastle that day. So that's right.
Hey, good. At least we won't lose. How many times over the years we celebrate Christmas? Everyone
it's not just Christmas.
The ones I remember.
Always lose. Remember that game we lost 4-2.
It's around December. Middle of December time is when our season usually falls off.
We get injuries. That's the one.
No, not just injuries. Just
not just injuries. We just get. Last season we lost 2-0 to Ipswich. We lost to Fulham.
2-1, but 2-1 at Fulham, 2-0 at Ipswich, and then 1-0 at Palace. Last minute bozo moment.
Wait, was it 0-0 Everton?
Everton 0-0. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Chelsea do their thing, get their injuries back, and we perform. Yeah. We could definitely get a result.
Is anyone going to the Barca game, by the way?
Nah.
I'll try. I'll try. Oh, I definitely want to try and go to the Barca or the Arsenal one.
Yeah, I might actually get a ticket.
Hopefully. But yeah, we'll see about the Arsenal game, man. It's a few games away. So we have to see about that one. But I'm not nervous about Arsenal as much as everyone else is. This isn't an Arsenal stream, but people who are glazing them, overly glazing them.
Oh yeah, I've been on panels, bro. You're stupid. It is what it is. We'll see, innit? By the end,
let's not be crazy. Like it's not even glazing them. These guys haven't conceded. Like they scored.
Yeah, I think we have to be realistic about this, guys.
Their structure is really good.
Yeah, we have to.
I'm not gonna lie. 3 goals.
When did I say it wasn't good?
What?
When did I say it wasn't good?
You said you don't. You said you didn't. You said you'll quote you, Jez. You said I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Arsenal game.
Is them being worried got anything to them or me?
What?
Both.
They're the same.
Let me get this. Sorry.
Oh, what are we doing?
Wait, Ches, can I ask you?
Let me get this right. Let me get this right. Yeah. This man quotes PTSD.
Sorry, you can let me answer.
This man quotes PTSD for West Ham away, Spurs away, but then says about Arsenal who've only conceded 3 goals this season. I'm not worried about them. Just not worried about them.
Guess what, Angie? Do you want to answer why? Do you know why? Because football I have
We're
no.
so good against them.
Yeah? See, this is me. Yeah, I'm a young person. You know why people call me mature when I'm young, even when I was younger? Because I use older people's wisdom to learn.
Just
This isn't based
tell
off me. Andrew, what I'm about to say, yeah, is facts.
I don't want
Let
to
me say something, yeah. Chelsea performed the best when nobody really cares.
Okay,
For
Ches.
some reason, I have a bad feeling we'll drop points to Wolves or Burnley, but then we'll get a good result against Arsenal.
Let me ask you, Ches. At home, Ches. And I don't want to date because that's not fair. Name me the year we last beat Arsenal at home in the league?
I can actually tell you.
Yeah,
it was I want to say.
Don't tell me it's the Hazard goal or something.
I think it was 2018.
2018 is correct. It was 2018 the last time we beat.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, 2018. Yeah,
in the league at home. Away recent. It was away. It was 2021.
Away it was actually Lukaku, James.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is this: we have barely got a point against them in 7 years at home at the Bridge. Okay, I know the last 2 occasions I think we've been slightly unlucky because when Sanchez literally passed the ball to Rice to score, and then Sanchez again last year didn't cover his front post. He's cost us. Yeah. I think he's cost us big time in there. But before that, they've regularly beaten us for like 4 or 5 years. So, and also, whether you want to use the respect or anything, I think we have to be realistic and go. They're a very tough team to break down. This is like Mourinho stand. This is like a Mourinho team in 04, 05, 06 when they used to come. Everyone used to come to the Bridge, or we defeated them in the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? When they didn't have a shot or barely had a shot against us, or it didn't matter. We could win 1-0 and look very comfortable winning 1-0 no matter what. We have to be extremely aware of that. I agree. We'll probably raise our game like we usually do against bigger size opponents.
Yeah, but this is a tactical show, Andrew. I'm not going off feelings. I just think tactically, if we have our players, I did caveat and say our players back, and if we win our games, Burnley and Wolves. Because for me, I was asked to say a question because he hasn't got a chance to speak in a minute. I was going to say, I have seen a few weaknesses in our team, and I was going to ask you what you've identified as weaknesses. But for Arsenal game, etc., if we are in good form and we have our players back, I can't give a logical reason why we can't get a result. Because our team is actually cold when those 2 things are good. Other teams when those things are good Yeah. Spurs when things go good are a good team. Man United when things go good are good. Chelsea have a good team.
That's not a question. The question about Chelsea is not whether the players are good or not. It's the ability to be consistent with the performances against any opponent, not just big or small teams. It's like I said yesterday to you guys, not a fear, but I think we will have tougher games against Carrier Bag and Wolves next week or this weekend than we did against Spurs. Look at we had a great game against Liverpool. Look at I know it was after the international break, but we came back and we stunk out the place in the first half against Forest. Do you know what I mean? This was an Ange Forest as well. Do you know what I mean? But that's the main concern of Chelsea is not how well how good we are, stuff like that. It's just being consistent. And that goes for the coach and the players.
I want to ask a question. I asked this before. I think I asked then last time. I said, is it a mentality issue or is it a quality issue with our inconsistency? Or is it both? Well, what's your take on the inconsistency part?
I think it's both. I think it's a bit of both. Because you can tell in certain games that the quality has let us down. You know what I mean? Whether you want to call it the centre backs, whether you want to say the goalkeeper, or wherever it is, or attacking wise, maybe you'd say the left wingers and whatever. So I think that's part of it, and it's also us not taking the opportunity when the opportunity falls to us. And I think that's another thing that you can link that to the mentality thing, and then you also, if you're gonna say mentality, you could say the red card stuff could be part of that as well, part of the mentality. So even though in the beginning I was saying, well, some of the red cards that we got, in some ways you couldn't avoid in terms of like even the goalkeeper. Yes, if he didn't step out, he could have just waited, but he stepped out. So in that position, you will get a red. So there's not like you can get a yellow. Or you could say the Chalaba one. But those things I can kind of see why we got a red. But like the Gusto one and some other ones, you can say, you know what, nah, that's just stupidness, right? The Dalap one recent time, that's just... So I know people were picking on the manager saying, well, I was like, I don't care if the manager celebrates. We won. You know what I mean? And then we won the
Oh yeah,
next
that
game.
stupid debate.
Yeah, and then the next game, the manager we got Caballero to manage the team and win too. So I think that's not really
Oh, you said, did you watch that video? The one that I did. I had
Which-
Rob, yeah. You know Rob. I had
Yeah.
argued with me. He said, why did the manager celebrate? He should have just stayed on the touchline.
yeah. I seen it.
I
I
was
seen it
like,
on. I
bro.
seen him. He said it on Twitter as well. I think I read it on there as
Rob's
well.
so
It makes sense.
Nah, Rob's too funny. But DBS here. Why did the manager celebrate his first big win? Come on, man. Like, what you meant to do?
And he's also been like, especially with the way the season's gone. He started. There was more pressure building.
Yeah, that was a
With
big
some of
game.
the
He
result,
had
the
to win
red
it.
cards, losing the
Yeah.
United game when we thought we'd go and win. Like then he made the wrong substitution. So winning that game, you know that his emotions were just whatever. And it last couple of minutes. It is what it is for me. Like with those, I don't really look at it the same. But yeah, I think it's a mixture of the mentality and also the quality. Do you know what I mean? So the reason I blame the quality or the mentality is because some of the games, like the Brentford one when we fell asleep in the back post, or those things are a mentality thing because you should be switched on.
Yes, here it's a to when to choose their mentality, right? But
Yeah.
look at the mentality shown against Liverpool, especially that last 15 minutes where we're the only team that was looking to score and win that game. Why isn't our mentality the same as when we're playing like Sunderland at home, or the first half against Brentford, the first half against Forest and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? Why is it? Is it because it's Liverpool? Is that what it is?
Maybe actually, because Chaz, sometimes when you play a low block, you keep trying, and then you kind of start to feel like, maybe we're not getting that result today. When you don't see, and then maybe then instead of saying we'll try to the end, you kind of start switching off.
Yep.
And then with those teams, obviously, you can get on a hit. He can get hit on the counter, whatever it is. And sometimes we also play the high line.
Well, that's where you look to the coach then, and you go.
When we play a Liverpool, they're playing the ball on the ground. We have that possession. We might get a couple of chances.
I've got a different take. I'm gonna get Den involved. Den's gonna give me, but I want to get his overall. But my thing is here, seeing Andrew, and Jay's still there, by his camera's off. I actually think is a link to our conversation about the captains and about the ownership, because I think when there's a bigger team, individually in their head, they're like, if you're young and you play on the pitch, your local team, whatever it is, people you don't even know, you take it upon yourself when there's a big occasion to step up, because you have to play your role in the game to get the win. Where smaller teams, maybe they're just thinking, someone else will score a goal. Not literally.
Remember in the beginning,
You know what I'm saying? When I say this, people in the crowd, don't think I'm saying Enzo's going, I'm not going to play today. Can I say that was tough? I think like that little 10%, they might go, someone else might. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Sunderland, I was saying, back to what I said.
Lost the ball in waywardly, but then Forest, it was perfect.
Yeah.
But this is why, Ches, I hate the excuse, and I know couch squeeze. I'm not using this young team bullshit anymore. Do you know what I mean? I'm not using it when I see them on the pitch. When I see like Reece, like these guys are near enough hitting mid-20s. Do you know what I mean? We need to stop this. Like, they're not experienced enough or something like that. No. That's not. When I saw that team that finished against Sunderland was more than experienced enough to get that win against Sunderland. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like when you talk about leadership group, I whatever you think about it, whether you think it's a good thing or not, but I look to players. Reece is there because he's a symbol of the club, right? He's like this generation's John Terry, so to speak. I mean, he's like the symbol of the club, the kid that literally came through from Cobham and stuff like that. He's Mr. Chelsea, right, of this generation. Yeah, we all know that. But then you look at players like Caicedo, stuff like that, just the way he doesn't have to shout and scream on the pitch, just the way he plays. That goal at the weekend, his determination to try and do that. I thought Levi Colwell was starting to do that, like at the end of last season into the summer. The way he was talking like he wasn't taking any bullshit anymore. Do you know what I mean? It was like when they were asking, "Can we beat Paris?" Yeah, why not? Why can't we beat Paris? We're here. We're going to beat them. And he was talking a good game. I think Cucurella.
That was actually Reece, by the way.
I think Cucurella is like that. He gets steamed and stuff. I think Enzo shows signs of that. I think those are the players that you need to look to when you look at leadership like that. I wouldn't say Cole Palmer because he's got a laid back attitude and he lets his play do the talking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd look to him towards that. But those are the guys you look to, like with the Mourinho's team. I know there was like basically 11 captains on the pitch, but it was really like there was like Uber captains. You know what I mean? When you looked at Drogba, Cech, Lampard, Terry, and all that stuff. They were there, but we need to. But we need that. Yeah. But what I mean is, Mikel was helped before that. We need to build something like that again. So when new players come into the team, they feel that mentality. Do you know what I mean? They get that mentality right away. Like someone like when Delap comes in, he should be able to feel that. Someone should. I hope everyone sat down Delap after Wednesday and went, "You can't do that again. Mm-hmm. You cannot do. I don't get a yellow card, no problem. But when you're and same with Gusto against Forest, you can't do that again. It's stupid to do that. You're going to cost us. Yeah. You nearly cost us Wednesday.
He has to manage that, though, Andrew. He has to manage that because we know Delap is more of.
The manager has to.
Delap is more of that Diego Costa kind of striker that likes to run into everyone.
He didn't get a red card. He probably would do in this.
He has
to
manage it and know when to push it, when not to do it. So it's very important.
If that was Jackson, people would be calling for him to like leave the club.
No, but I think I think that's also a poor argument because with Jackson, it was like a lot of mixture of things besides also. The cards. I think him getting the cards that he was getting in that point in the season.
Like he had that in his first season. If you remember in his first season, like before he went to AFCON, he was very ill-disciplined.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then when he came back, he sort of sorted that out, but then it crept back in at the end of last season and stuff like that.
But it used to be yellow.
Going back to the mentality and the captains, you have players that can do that. They just need to show that more. They need to take it on themselves and show that. And Maresca needs to help them with that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. A few questions will be head out. Big everyone who's joined. Every single man who has a channel will be down below. Windsurfer's in around everyone's channel, so you can follow him. This down below as well.
Fly and shit.
Yeah. Always showing Chelsea community. Great credibility there, man. Reliability. We all represent our clubs in different ways as well. Jay's on TikTok. See us on YouTube channels. Couch does his thing as well on all platforms, the same with me and Andrew. So all down below as well. And humanitarian aid for Sudan, I'll add. And Jamaica's down below. So make sure you hit that link and support the people who are struggling. Because a lot of people are struggling. The world is bigger than just football. But anyway, last segment, if we head off, because I don't want to curse people's time, is let's start with Jay. Is do you feel like in terms of the manager, because it's more of a tactics and managers thing, not a player thing, forget Enzo a little bit. Do you feel like the manager will get more time when he gets these wins versus Liverpool, Spurs, or do you think ultimately it will just be depending on the trophies?
Do you know what it is?
Like, do you think our fan base is more ironically like the Arsenal if we be competitive, or do you feel like if he just gets the Carabao Cups, inconsistency is fine? Like, what do you think? It's a tough question, but what do you think?
I think for me, I literally done a video on this earlier on my TikTok, funny enough. I think winning the 2 trophies in his first season did buy him a bit of time. I think where Chelsea fans are starting to get frustrated with him this season is the games like the Manchester United and the Brightons, where like his decision-making single-handedly cost us, especially that Manchester United game. He got that so wrong. But then you look at some of the other games where he dropped points, like Sunderland, for instance, and even Wolves the second half. I don't put that to him. I put that more down to like, the players and the personnel. So like he's not solely the reason for like our drop points this season. Like it's a bit of both. It's a bit of him and the players. So I think, and when you look at our recent one, I have 7 games, we've won 6. We only lost to Sunderland, which isn't bad on paper. I know if you actually watch the Wolves game, we were horrendous in that second half. But it's like at the same time, he's getting results.
He's
getting results. Yeah. You can't really get onto him too much. If let's say, God forbid, he goes on like this mad like losing streak where he's making the same like poor decisions with the substitutions. He's bringing on Tosin in the 90th minute again for no reason, and he's doing it. Then at that point you can start getting onto him. But I don't think he should go this season unless we have a complete fall from grace. I think he's bought time winning them 2 trophies, and the wins against the likes of Liverpool and the performance against Tottenham. And if we win against Barca, that's definitely going to buy him even more time.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andrew, I was going to say, you can go next. Now, if we win against Karabag, I think it will be like 6 wins. 6 wins?
We shouldn't even be thinking about. We shouldn't. The word should even be put in that sentence. You know what I mean? That's like that. That's
I'm not going to mention PTSD, but they do have a good record.
no. Don't we carry a bag. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Hey,
They're in good
check
form, by the
this.
way. Just
Let
be
me just check
careful.
it.
I know
That's
they're, I
a
know
good
they're, I
record.
know they're in good form, but we should still be going there and at least winning by at least 2 goals over there.
Let's hope.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but no, I think it. Listen, wins will buy you time. Trophies will buy you time. They were very lenient on him last year with that run up after the New Year and stuff like that when we were very patchy until the end. Do you know what I mean? So they're very lenient then. The fans and the board's expectations or demands are always going to be different and never going to match overall. Do you know what I mean? Overall, everyone wants to win, but it's how you win is never going to match. Do you know what I mean? Like we want to sign certain players, they're going to sign other players. Do you know what I mean? We want to, stuff like that. So it's never really going to match. And we all know that this fan base can't agree on frigging a protest and what it means, with one single saying. Let alone,
that was the funniest thing.
What did I say to you guys? I said if we win the next 4 games, we won't hear anything about a protest, and we didn't hear anything after that. Do you know what I mean? So it's all good. But I think the currency of wins and trophies will always buy him time. And finishing, if he finishes in the top 4 again and wins a trophy or 2, then that's obviously he deserves to stay on the next season. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them. Probably even if he doesn't win the trophy and finishes top 4, he'll still keep his job. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll still keep his job because I always think, given what the recruitment was like in the summer, that's what they're okay with for this season to finish in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next summer will be the one where it's okay. We've done it now. Now what do you want to do? Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That'll be it. But he would have deserved it under their eyes. He would have met their standards. Do you know what I mean? It might not be other people's. It might not be other people's standards, and I understand. But I will say this: standards and expectations are 2 different things. You can't apply your own standards onto everything. Like when people talk about when people talk about, oh, we should be challenging for the title, we should be winning the Champions League, and then the next sentence they go, yeah, but I don't rate any of these players. Then how do you expect them to match your standards? It doesn't make any sense. It's like with the rival fans, right? When they say, man, you should be challenging. You spent $2 billion. The next sentence is, yeah, but you spent that money wrong. What?
Hey, Yassir knows this because I was on streams, yeah. And Yassir, they always do this one where they're like, and Couch knows, all the channels we go on, they'll be like, oh, you spent $2 billion, I don't care. Is our squad better than yours? No, but you spent $2 billion and you should win the league, man. I'm like, well,
you should win the league.
The
But you
conversation
don't
here,
rate
innit?
your goalkeeper.
Yeah,
your
they do
defender.
that.
Do you know what debate is to that when fans say, "Oh, you spent so and so money"? If you spend $2 billion on, I don't know, water bottles, does that help the team?
Yeah, exactly.
That is actually my argument.
Guys, I could spend $2 billion on a house, but if I haven't got a roof on it, it's shit. Do you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, the issue is we haven't spent the
I
money.
guess you paid for the land, Andrew. You know what I mean?
I could spend as much as I could overpay for. In the history of mankind, people have always overpaid for things. Do you know that? It's not just footballers that people overpay for. Do you know what I mean? It's
The
like
issue
that.
is we just haven't spent the money like fully correctly. We spent it right in some
Agreed.
areas, but there's some areas where you look at and go, should we have bought? So
Exactly.
There's still the question: should we have bought both Garnacho and Gittins? That's still.
that's a different debate for another day.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm
all
just
right.
saying. We're not going to debate that
Jesse's
now. We're
right.
not going to debate that
He's
now. But I'm
right.
just saying.
Because Andrew, I would argue they spent more right than wrong, but that's a
No.
different debate.
The argument, Dukes has said that. He said he's.
Yeah, see, I can't lie. We need to
It's
assume
not a
that
whole
one.
whitewash.
I've
It's
seen
not a whole-
Fofana.
We could do a stream on that one. Trust
If
me.
you're getting about these names like Datro
I've seen hit
Fofana,
and
Couch,
misses.
I know, but think about the value. If I pay 100 million for Caicedo, but I buy 5 Datros, I still think that one Caicedo outweighs those 5.
yeah,
Well,
you
yeah,
got
but
to
the
do
problem-
a
no,
lot
but
for that.
Ches,
That's
you're
my
just-
opinion. Because the level Caicedo was like exponentially better than anything
Ches,
that's
I'll be able
supposed
to.
offer.
But Ches, I bet
But
you will be able to find.
Different debate, man.
But Ches, I bet you will be able to find 5 to 10 players that other clubs have bought for the same price as Datro that are far superior to him.
We
in this
literally
league.
just said, how much was Lacroix to Crystal Palace?
Like 13 million or
Exactly,
something
that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying. But I'm not
We
saying.
could have
Listen,
Think of this, guys. We could have bought 3 Lacroix for 1 Disassi.
I'm gonna say this though, like this whole Lacroix thing, like we all know how it works.
Yeah, but Lacroix,
we all
what
know how
level
it
is
works.
Lacroix,
As soon as Chelsea put their name in the hat,
Yeah,
the price
yeah,
gets trebled.
I know that.
So there's no way we're gonna get him for that.
I know it would have been 13 million, But even if it'd been like 25 or something like that, or a bit more, then I think he still would have been
Why
worth
that's
it.
not requires like some next centre back? He's a good centre back.
He's
That's
good.
it.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Why don't
Yeah,
we
but
scout
then
players?
goes.
Why don't we
He's good
scout
in
players
that
though?
way. Like
No,
it makes it
Ches.
sound like
good.
much
Ches,
better
it's
than he
like
is.
no, Ches. It's why don't we scout players like? Why are Crystal Palace able to scout players like?
Why didn't Crystal Palace scout Lavia?
Because Liverpool and Chelsea are after him.
Well, there we
Well,
go then.
do
Do
Tomorrow
you
was
know what,
better
no,
than
do you
them.
know what doesn't help though? Do you know what doesn't help? When journalists put out these things like we're interested in so and so for how much money we put a bid in, then all of a sudden that shows off to other clubs like the Wolfsburg. Is that where he came from? That we have money, so they're gonna be like, okay, well if you want him, then you
Yeah,
have
that's
to pay.
always going to happen, though, isn't it? They use our name when we're even not linked to them to build up the prices of these players.
It's like,
You know what I
you're
mean?
gonna spend
We're gonna do
spend
$2
60 million on Xavi Simmons. Well, hold on a minute, you can give us more than 13 million.
Remember
for like-
the World Tomade guy did that. He renewed his contract.
Yeah.
Do you remember he renewed his
Hey, listen,
contract
listen.
and then they ended up going to Newcastle.
You get your series and then sports, we can head out of here. But definitely Prodigy. It's national breaks in 2 weeks. Trust me, we have plenty of time to talk about this. Plenty of time. But yeah, see it. Question for you, man.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think, very briefly, because you're here out soon, what do you feel like with the tactics being better next few games, players coming back? What's like the minimum expectation for the next like few weeks? Because do you expect us finally to go on the run, or do you feel like much of the same? It will be inconsistent. Basically,
No, for me, I expect
last
it
year
to be-
replica or this year change?
No, I think we have to go on a run. I think it's like we know that okay, cool, we've made our mistakes, and also in the beginning of the season we had that period. You know, sometimes you lose a couple of games early on in the season, and it's a wake up call. That could sometimes be your bad period that you have early, right? And now you have to sort your problem out and also sort out the complacencies and all that, right? But I think now, this is the right time to actually build on it, because when all the fixture build-ups are, that's when you manage to pick up a lot of points, and this is sometimes where other teams drop points. So if you can capitalize, you can also put yourself in a better position. Do you get what I mean? I think especially this week's games before the international break, I think that those are winnable games. You know what I'm saying? Wolves got their own issues. Karabakh, I know they've been playing well in the Champions League, but we should still be beating them. And then I think, yeah, obviously Barcelona, Burnley, I mean, first.
That's it. It's funny you mention a run, right? I think we have to do this. I think we have to, on paper, we have to win these next 3 games, the next 2 coming up, and Burnley. And then what you have to do is you have to separate Barcelona and Arsenal as 2 single games.
Yes.
By themselves. You can't put them, you can't add them as part. After a result, if we win, you can add them as part of a run, but you can't put them as, this must be part of a run. You just can't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
You just can't do
Those
that.
are 2 different,
they're just the different caliber. It's different caliber. You have to lose.
We definitely need Palmer back for that game, man.
Whoever you need back, you need to focus on them.
Hey, listen, I would rest the guy. I'll give him more than enough rest. I said, come back for the game before Barca. Get a run around, and then we can play some minutes against Barcelona, because we can't against Arsenal and Barca not have literally like arguably the best player on the planet, top 5, top 6 in form before he got injured. So.
I know Barca ain't got Pedri, but I still think that we
still they got Rashford, who loves Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Rashford loves.
Who's ready to see Cucurella lock up your mouth?
I'm just about to say that.
I'm here for that.
Let me just say this right now.
I'm worried about Rashford, man.
If we win and Cucurella locks up Yamal, I don't want to have any debates.
No, but they'll start saying he's world class. It'll only be that.
I already think he is. But that team I saw today about the 2025 and had Mendes in it, I wanted to throw up.
Also, where's Caicedo?
Wait, Jay, I don't know if Jay said this before. Then lands his last point. Jay, do you think Cucurella's world class?
Yes.
And you said, do you think Cucurella's world class?
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact that there's only one left, I think there's only one left back in world football better than him. That has to be world class at that point.
And Couch, do you think I can't remember who said he wasn't.
It was you. What are you talking about? It was you.
No, it's Rob, right?
Yeah, hold on. Other than me.
Was it Rob? Was it Rob who said he wasn't world class?
No, Rob did.
Cucurella's world class. Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. Like,
Rob doesn't. I mean, Rob rates Garnacho, of course.
No, the only one I debate is Reece James. I know Couch doesn't agree.
You don't think Reece James is world class?
Wait, what?
Word? Like, for real, Jay? I didn't know that you said that.
It's just that for me, it's just he's slowly getting back to that point that he was before he kept getting all the injuries. But for me, because he's been so in and out of the team, it's hard for me to like call him.
No, but then in his defense, the debate is with Rodri, for example, is like this is different for different people. If you're world class before you get injured, and then you come back and perform for less of the amount of time, are you still world class? That's the debate. Some people say yes.
I just think
like
class
we
is
would.
permanent, man. Reece James is
Yeah, that's the
world-class.
argument. Some people think no, you still got to perform for another year.
You know what is different
To
for
be
Reece,
honest with you,
though?
I don't think that we've seen like since he's been back. I don't think that he's been subpar. Like he's just not been able to stay healthy. But his performances have still been good for the
Yeah.
most part for me.
Yeah, they've been
I thought
good. No,
we
they've
were
been
two-
very
yeah.
good. He's
Yeah, true.
he's an exceptional player. It's just the world class thing. I think
The
he
world
gets
class single.
Can explain that.
I didn't ask.
Man, guys.
I
The
didn't
world
ask
class
to
thing.
show me Enzo's world class once, so I can't like. He gets thrown around a lot.
Okay, I'll say it though, Jay. Look,
Jay's
the
funny.
different, the reason why I've stuck with the Reece James world class thing, even though I know he has world class ability before his injury, and that is because similar to Alavia, I'm not saying Lavia's work, but I'm saying as Alavia, every time he comes in, even when he had those periods of being injured, we saw levels from him straight away. It's not like a Rodri where you've seen him kind of he has to get eased into it. Every time Reece James came back, even when he was getting those injuries and coming back, we saw levels from him straight away, and that's why I look at Reece James differently as someone I still called world class, even though he's come back from an injury.
Yeah,
And you know what's funny about that too?
Sorry?
No, I was gonna quickly say, Jay, like you know what's funny about that too?
Yeah.
Reece James is now crossed over into just all-around complete footballer because he played in so many different roles and you don't see a drop-off.
Yeah.
You see his quality. Like that to me is world class. Like the guy plays him at center back,
Couch,
right
Couch,
back.
you'll get this, Couch. He's the modern day Philip Lahm.
Oh, without question, man.
You know
Without
what I mean?
question.
If everyone
Absolutely.
no one knows who Philip Lahm is, do your research. One of the best footballers to ever
No,
live.
I know who he is.
Ever
Yeah.
graced again.
Wait, Andrew,
He
before we're 10.
turned him into a midfielder.
That's
Like,
it.
turned
Hey
him
Jay,
into a midfielder.
that's it. Man, Andrew thinks we're 10 years old, bro. Yeah, Lam.
No, I don't know. It's like you probably think
I
Philip
know
Lahm's a
Philip
Pro
Lahm
Evolution
is
player
great.
or something, Jez. Do you know what I mean? That's what
You know,
probably
with
think,
the Reece James thing, I'm not. You guys sitting there saying world class. I'm not sitting there going, "No, that's rubbish." I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to call him that just yet. But he's getting there. He's an exceptional football player.
Dubes, when he was through his injuries, when he had those 2 years, I couldn't put him in the conversation as best right back in the league because he was injured. I couldn't have it because he was injured. Now though, we're going on. Is it over a year now or approaching a year now?
No,
Of
when
like-
it hits a year, I'll have more chest. But
No, I think we're close to that. I've gone past that.
You guys are
We're
killing me.
close.
The reason
No,
I'm-
then you're not getting the point. We're not saying
I
he's
think
not
he is.
world-class
I think he is.
player.
I agree with Couch. I think he is well.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying he's world class, but I'm saying like when people say he's not world class, it's because he hasn't done it back from injury for long enough.
Yeah, but
It's
I think
not
now
saying
we're
he's not-
going. Now we're
Yeah, it's
now
actually
it's
if
like,
he hits
yeah.
if he doesn't
So-
get injured,
So was
until, like-
was Eden Hazard world class when he went down injured in that 2016 season?
so what are we doing?
15,
here?
16. He
What
was,
are we
but
doing?
he was only out for like months, weren't he?
Hazard, who performed for literally like
he never had
years.
continuous injuries like Reece
No,
James.
Okay,
not
so
even
the
that.
injury, you guys are saying that he's not world class because of injuries, not because of what he does when he's not injured.
Yes, yeah, it's
But
just
not
because
me.
you,
Okay,
like, I've got
I
to
don't
be
necessarily agree.
consistent.
I can only look at world class based on what you do on the pitch. You know, like
I can
he's
see their
world-class.
argument,
Yeah.
though. I can
No,
see
but
their
Andrew, do you understand my argument? I'm
I can
not.
see their argument.
It's my own player. He's world class. He's a baller, innit? I'm
Yeah.
saying
Right.
I've got to be consistent. The guy's always injured.
Right.
It's hard.
No, but I
I
think
know-
you can go.
The
The reason
reason I'm
that,
quick to
Jez,
call Cucurella world
one at the
class is
bottom,
because
yeah,
I haven't
he
seen him get injured in ages.
But we
It's
say
like-
And also,
Just read the chat,
Cucurella's
the
now.
last chat.
Cucurella's approaching
Oh,
2
this one
years
here?
of.
Yeah,
Cucurella's
you can
approaching
argue.
2 years of consistent form for club and country.
Well,
Do
you
you know
want
what
to
I mean?
respond
He's
to his
like,
comment?
you could argue
Yeah,
he's
that
not
one.
currently playing at the level, but he's world class. See, now this is a different argument because he's changed his game because of his injuries. So he's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
changed his game. He's not bombing up and down as much anymore, or up and down that wing for two reasons: because our wingers are glued to the touchline, so there's no point going past them that way. And second of all, he has to because of injuries, because of the way he's built. I always say these people, oh, he needs to get more leaner. Basically, you're telling me he needs bones removed from his body. Is that what you're saying for him to do that? He says because he has got leaner. He has got leaner. We're talking about We're talking about DNA here. He can't. Have you seen the James family? They're tanks in a good way. Do you know what I mean? They're built to bruise people. Do you know what I mean? They're built like that. But
We've got strong genetics.
he's now changed his game where he can play in midfield. That's the whole point. He did play in midfield for Wigan, remember, guys? He got player of the year when he was young for midfield. So he has done it before. But he's changed his game that he can do either role. It won't be up and down as what usual previous fullbacks used to do, because he's not going to do that anymore because he can't do that.
Although he did do it against Spurs.
He did. He can do it occasionally, but he can't do it every game like he used to. Like
of course, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, Andrew, he's now utilised his physicality in terms of
he's being smart about it.
The ball, he's smart. Like him and
Maresca are being smart about the way he's being used. Maresca's
he doesn't really have to run as much and like run people down.
No need to reach James, but all credit should go to Maresca and this new fitness stuff people that are in there from that were bought in last year. Because before that, he was in and out, and we didn't know. There was people questioning, even myself, were going, one more injury, long term, he's got to go because he can't play anymore.
And Couch, that's what we're saying, by the way. We're not saying he's not world class because Jay's saying he's world class. We're saying like it's hard to be like he's world class when the guy gets injured. Before this year, every few months.
You guys have short-term memories, what it sounds like to me.
No, it's not about him playing.
I'm saying this. I'm just going to leave on this point. I'm just going to leave on this point. Simple like this. Real simple stuff. When Reece James plays, he's world class. When he's injured,
when does he play?
When he's injured, that's something different. When he's on the pitch, he's world class. I don't care.
I think, Ches, you're just a Reece James hater in real life. That's what you are.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
You hate Reece James, man. You hate one of your own.
Man, see, this is cheeky. Now, when people see, this is what I mean. This is when we get started getting
I gotta
cheeky.
go, fellas.
Yeah, love Couch. We're getting on the shoe anyway. Couch description down below. We're gonna shout out one chance before we get out of it.
Yeah.
This is when people get cheeky. When his news saying
you want Timber over Reece James, that's what they're saying. You want to sign
I'm the Chelsea fan as well. That's why it's cheeky because he knows what we're saying.
He knows you want to sign Timber over Reece James. That's right.
But I'll tell you, because I'm Dutch in it, so I'll tell you, I rate Timber highly, but not better than Reece James.
No, Timber's a fantastic. He's a fantastic defender, is Timber, but that's it.
He's better. He's like you know how we see Hato as like a left back, left centre.
Yeah. He's the version of
the Ajax fans were saying he was the left-footed Timber at the time. Yeah, he's more of a centre back that's playing at right back, but he was a bit short. But he's doing a really good job out there. Yeah, but he's just not. He doesn't have the same attacking instincts. He doesn't have the same.
He's not doing that. Remember, he's not doing that Reece James pass against Liverpool.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying.
Across the midfield like a knife through butter. He's not doing that. He's not doing that swivel pass assist for Cucurella last season against Man United. He's not doing that whatsoever.
As good as I think he is, I just don't. And obviously, if we're going to judge them as right backs, you know what I'm saying? I think he's still not. He doesn't give you what Reece James does. But I'm not saying that. That's not us saying that Timber's not top level. That's
exactly. That's why you can have these debates and not have to rip away from the other player.
Yeah, exactly. Us saying he's not world class doesn't mean we don't rate him.
Exactly. I can listen. Guys, I don't agree with you, but I can understand where you're coming from because I had those thoughts up until before last year. You know what I mean? I was
my opinion is he is world class, but I do
No, it wasn't.
I don't think Lavia is world class. I think he's a baller. So it's like,
Lavia's not world class.
No. But we want to see. No, I think we need to see more of Lavia. I think if you see more of him and you see him do more consistently, I think he's one of those.
He only when he came on against Spurs. This will shock you. Right, how long's he been in? How long have we known about him? Like 23, 24? No, 22, 23 season we've known him for, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, against Spurs was only his 50th league appearance.
Wait, not just for Chelsea.
No, I think it was 50th. Someone I saw they said 50th
including Southampton.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Because he got injured.
He had one full season in Southampton.
Because remember, he only played in 23-24. He only played for 30 minutes for us that season against Palace at home.
Because he was already injured when we got him from Southampton.
He got injured at Southampton. He got injured at Southampton quite a lot as well.
Yeah. I think with him, this is where I think is slightly different from the Reece James thing. From Reece James, we've seen so much from him already.
Yes.
Like we have a report on him, whereas with Lavia,
won the frigging Champions League.
His career literally just starting kind of thing.
Exactly.
So as much as we think he may have world class ability, we still need to kind of see what he can do for us.
Yeah, he's not world class. He's not proven it.
100%.
No, not proven. No, not proven. But
people, I'll head out now, man. Bill, you see for joining us, Davey. Great show, man. We'll try and get some panel each week. The
He's going to try
blueprint.
and beat that. He's going to try and beat Fofana's record for appearances. Right on this.
Yeah, that's that. Bro, you're already beating Fofana already, bro. You got 190 minutes under your belt, bro. You've already
true.
well, technically 4 minutes left till 90 minutes. But you know what I'm saying? You got more than Fofana in 2 years at Chelsea.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's a fact.
I remember this was a continuous 90 minutes, not the 15-minute break as well. So actually, he's probably casting.
We'll get Jabon on next time. Jabon should be joining this panel. Blueprint episode 1 successful, of course. Andrew Bit for joining, of course, and Jay ill. I'm ill myself, you can hear it, but I'm trying to firm it.
I think I might have COVID, boys. I can't lie.
Well, everyone's got something in it.
Everyone. I've met so many people who are already ill, bro. It's crazy.
I went out in London the other night. I think I caught it.
Well, I went out as well, man. I went out the other day. Definitely something going around the gym.
I work from home. People I live with, the bastards bring it home with them, don't they? Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
you can't avoid it, man.
No, you can't. No, sir. You can even buy all the stuff and dose up beforehand. You're still gonna fucking get the thing.
You're gonna get one mistake. You know what I'm
here's my tip. Here's my tip.
Yeah,
Strepsils and the nasal Vicks.
Nasal spray. That's what I've been doing.
Get the nasal spray. If you have the nasal spray, you can handle anything with it. If you have an unblocked nose,
I just use normal Vicks.
Whatever. Just make sure the nose is unblocked and you'll survive. If the nose is blocked and you don't do anything about it, you're done.
No, because you know when you try sleep with a blocked nose, you actually can't.
Exactly. Yeah, try and sleep with a blocked nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, see channel down below. Get him to 1K ASAP, man. And myself, get me to 2.3. Only 80 left. I haven't checked. It's probably about 80 left. And it's Dubes as well. And Couch. All trying to get to that 1K mark. It's very, very difficult to get there. Once you get there, you keep flying, man. But yeah, be up the channel, man. Everyone's showing love. Good numbers in here today, considering. And yeah, man, Chelsea play in 2 days.
Early kickoff, 5:45 kickoff.
5:45 on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's Wednesday in Azerbaijan. So everyone tune in for that. There'll be a stream tomorrow for a preview show, and a stream on Wednesday, and a stream Thursday and Friday, of course. So you'll see me there. I'll try and get your serial morning as well for one-on-one shows as well. So everybody enjoy it
in a bit.
Yeah, humanitarian below as well. Show love to the channel. And yeah, man, love for love. Peace out.
Booyah.
Wait, what was that?
I said, booyah. Booyah.
Say people, say.